So today we have Brian from Tipico joining us today. And thank you for joining us, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, so we'll talk a little bit about your company background. Can you share a little bit about your company background and what it does?
Yeah, so we're in the sports betting industry, like many others that are starting to pop up. We've been around for a while now, though. We started roughly 15 years ago over in Europe and have just been in the US for about 2 years now. So very different model here, more of just an application that we're working on here over in Europe. It's a lot of live betting, but right now we're just working on standing up technical teams in the US to transfer the workload over from Europe more than anything. And so, yeah, sports betting space, our app allows users to basically gamble on sporting events. And then we have an online casino that we're building out as well.
That's good. Thank you. And in terms of your US expansion is been happening since the past few years. And where are you now in terms of office locations in US?
Yeah, so we started in Hoboken, New Jersey. We're still there. And then we opened an office in Denver, Colorado. It's been about 3 weeks now. And Denver is going to be our tech hub moving forward. And so for the foreseeable future, those are just going to be the two locations we'll be in.
That's good. And I heard that you mentioned it's going to be a large expansion, and your team is going rapidly here. So what is the expectation in terms of the people size here in the US?
Yeah, so between the two offices we just built out, we have about 500 seats. We're about 80 people right now in the US, looking to double that this year, and then double again the next year. And we'll see from there. But I think that the 5-year plan is to get up into that 400 to 500 range.
That's good. That's good. In terms of the team culture or the company culture, can you share a little bit about what the company culture looks like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a very laid back working environment for sure. We're still small and we're startup adjacent, I like to say, because I mean, we're not a startup, we're backed by the European side, but we still are starting up over here in the US. So it's a lot of, I call it organized chaos a little bit, excuse me, but an opportunity for us to develop our own processes and procedures. And so a lot of working autonomously is something that we push for here. But it's very laid back. We work off a hybrid model, so we only come into the office a couple days a week, and even then they're pretty flexible with our schedules. So it's kind of get stuff done mentality. As long as your work's getting on, they're not hounding us about when we're online or when we're in the office. And so definitely looking for people with a growth mindset, because like I said, we're growing a ton. There's constantly new positions coming up, and so we want people that obviously want to advance their careers, because there's a lot of opportunity for that right now. But overall, great. Obviously, most people here have a genuine interest in sports. It's not a requirement, but you'll hear a lot of sports chatter around the office most days.
That's awesome. So in terms of, you mentioned about the working hybridly to the office. What is the working from home policy or what policy, with Tipico?
Yeah, I mean, during this startup phase, as we'll keep calling it a startup phase, but we definitely want some collaboration in person. And so we asked people that they come in at least a couple days a week. The Jersey office has been around for a couple of years. They go in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Denver, we're still figuring it out. It'll probably be by team, but I would imagine that at some point we'll get to a very similar schedule in which we're just going in, 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, there's not too much structure around it right now. I mean, when we get bigger, I'm sure there will be, but right now, I mean, everyone has a general interest in coming to the office. And so as long as you have that, I think you'll be just fine.
That's good. Thank you. And in terms of benefits, what kind of benefits, the Tipico provide for
Sure.
staff?
I mean, all the standard benefits you'd expect. So medical, dental, vision insurance. There's supplemental coverages for everything else that if you choose to opt into, you can. Things like, life insurance, disability insurance, pet insurance. We do 401k matching. We do offer unlimited PTO, which I realize a lot of people do these days, but I can assure you they do let us take it, and they do encourage us to take our time off. I use myself as a great example. I've been here for about 3 months and have taken probably close to 3 weeks off now, but yeah, the benefits are good.
Yes, it's always good, Stanford. If you like skiing, it's
Exactly.
right
Right. I
around the
live in the
corner.
mountains, so I got to take advantage.
That's good. That's good. Now, in terms of the roles that you are hiring right now, what kind of job openings do you have at the moment in your two offices in US?
Yeah, so I'm on the IT side, so I'll cover that. We have openings on the operations, marketing, legal, all that other stuff too. But as far as IT goes, biggest asks for me right now, I need DevOps engineers. On the infrastructure team, we need some good data engineers on the data analytics team, and then I'm building out 3 software engineering teams, and so I have openings across the board. I'm pretty set on entry level junior people right now, but front end, back end, full stack, mid and senior level. Looking to bring on, maybe 30 or 40 people in the next year or two. So software engineering is definitely the biggest ask right now for sure.
That's good. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of background you need from them in terms of the software engineer background?
Yeah, I mean, our back end is built in Java, and our front end we use React and JavaScript. And so at its core level, that's what we're looking for, just to start. But we're pretty open to people of all backgrounds. Obviously, anyone that's worked in gaming before, front of the line. But we know that's not a huge industry in the U.S. yet. But as far as experience goes, yeah, I mean, Java and React, if I'm just going to narrow it down, are the 2 big ones for us.
For the team obviously team culture, what is it like in the software development team?
They're very collaborative. Like I said, we did go through a phase of bringing some more junior people on, and so for the seniors and even mid levels, we would look for people that are open to mentoring. The young guns do have a lot of questions, but it's collaborative. We're not looking for people that want to code in a dark room in a dark corner by themselves, and so it's very much they sit at the same table together. It's an open seating concept, and they look at each other's code all day long and just work through little problems together. And so it's an agile environment. They do sprint planning, and yeah, they pick their stories and their morning stand up and work on them. And sometimes you can do that alone, and sometimes it's a small group project. But yeah, it's a good mix of the team right now between skill level and just background in general.
That's good. In terms of team structure in the software developer team, what's it like at the moment, and what is it like going to be like in the next couple of years?
Sure. So in a perfect world, once we're fully built out, we have 3 software engineering teams. Right now, we have maybe 15 people on that team, and so they all are just on the same team. It's kind of one team, one dream. Like they work on all 3 pieces of our application that we need. But again, yeah, what will it be? When we get big enough, we're going to split the team into 3 pieces. They'll work on the 3 different pillars of our application, and we'll look at hopefully promoting some people into team lead roles. We want a team lead, like a tech lead / team lead type person at the head of each team, and then we have like a product lead that's kind of sitting above them. And so we have the sportsbook applications, obviously the platform where users go and place their bets. We have the casino, the online casino that we're building out. And then we have a 3rd pillar we call it PAM, but it stands for player and account management. It's the team that basically builds the backbones of the application. If you're creating an account or depositing money, withdrawing money, whatever it is, that team is working on building out that piece of it. And so in a perfect world, obviously you want to give the user as many options to deposit money as you can. So if you're in the gambling space, some of them you can Venmo or quick pay through Chase or whatever, credit cards, bank deposits. So we want to build that out and give people as many options as they can. So that's kind of what that last team will focus on.
That's good. In terms of for people that are interested in joining Tipico, what is the hiring or interviewing process look like?
Yeah, so starts with me. I'll do an initial interview, make sure we're getting along in terms of culture fit. We're in line salary wise, and you have at least the right experience. And then depending on skill level, we would ask some for technical assessments. We do a short coding test for more of our junior to mid-level people. Senior people usually not so much. And then if that goes well, there's an interview, one longer interview. So the development manager actually still sits in Germany. He's relocating to Denver this year. But since he is there, with the time change, to do one longer interview that's usually a 2-hour commitment where he'll go through your background. You'll do some live coding and then questions. But from there, they make a decision. So if they like you from that, you'll get an offer.
That's good. In terms of people that you're looking for that fits the culture or fit the value, and what are those that you're seeking? In terms of candidate.
I mean, soft skill wise, like I said, we definitely would just want people that are open to collaboration. I mean, there's not, we're not necessarily looking for personality types or anything like that. It's just as long as you like to work together in a team. Again, perfect world. You come from the gaming industry, maybe even the sports betting industry, but again, we know that that's not a very big industry yet. And so we're open to people of all backgrounds. We really just want strong developers to start, and people that have a general willingness to learn, because it is a new industry. You don't have to love sports. You don't have to be a sports bettor to do the job. Obviously, it helps if you have some sort of interest, because that's the product you're working on. But more than anything, we just want good developers that are willing to learn and that want to help grow a team. We don't want someone that doesn't have a growth mindset, because we need everyone to have a growth mindset right now, because it's going to be a period of extended growth for the foreseeable future. So.
That's good. In terms of the companies, how does it promote work-life balance? Those kind of things.
I think it's great. Every manager that I work with in IT, at least, will tell their team, like, if you don't work late, especially in IT, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes there are meetings with the European team, which obviously means an early morning for us. And they encourage everyone to, if you're on at 7, get off at 3. If you're on it at 9, get off at 5. So they really push for just work your hours. Like, the work's always going to be there tomorrow. There's no reason to work yourself to death. So I appreciate that. And then it's just the flexibility we get with being online and being in the office. Like, obviously make your meetings, but you have a doctor's appointment, go. If your kid is sick, go get them from school. Like, they're not super strict about us needing to be offline. So it is nice, when you're working from home, if you need to run an errand, go do it. So I appreciate that. And then again, like I said before, I just appreciate that they encourage us to take time off. Because I know a lot of companies that have unlimited PTO give you the side eye when you try and take time off, but that's not been my experience here.
Yeah, so you've been around with the Tipico company for a while now. What attracts you to this company, and what do you think is you enjoy the most so far?
Yeah, for me, I just a step up, in my career compensation wise. So obviously that the almighty dollar has a say in it, but I liked the fact that it was a really small team still, and then we were going to get a chance to grow it. I've been in that position before, where you're one of the first in the office, and then it's cool. A couple years later, you look back and there's a couple hundred people that you've hired. And so for me, that's something I was interested in, and I'm interested in moving up into leadership as well. And I have that opportunity here. They've already talked to me about building a team around me, and so it's like they encourage us to move up, and they actually make it possible. And so I just see a lot of opportunity here for future growth. And so that's definitely what's keeping me around.
That's awesome. They're helping you build your career within the company. So that's always good. That's always good.